You might not know it, but you felt this brand's font change. Browsing the catalog, website and store suddenly felt cheaper, like your chair wasn't just affordable, it was emotionally fragile. And that's the whole experience with typography. It can change your entire perspective on things without you even realizing. And no brand proves this better than Ikea. Proud Futura user since 1954, back when their catalogs were printed on actual paper and optimism and maybe a whiff of meatballs. But not anymore. When they turned Ikea into this! Verdana, one of Microsoft's default fonts. It's the typographic equivalent of building a shelf out of hollow cardboard. It might hold together, but it feels cheap, flimsy, kind of insulting, like somebody knocked the soul out of it. This used to be an icon. Now it's just an MDF with a font crisis. But how did we get here? Why did Ikea make this decision? And why was it reasonable, but then again not so smart? Let's break it down. Because this isn't just about Ikea. This is about you making better font choices in your own digital work. I'm Oliver, typography consultant, reluctant Ikea shelf assembler, and someone who's reviewed nearly 200 fonts from a UI designer's perspective, so you don't have to. In this video, I'll show you how your type choices can elevate your UX or sink it faster than a wobbly luck table. Let's enter Verdana Gate. It's 2009. People are still downloading music, Facebook has a wall, and complaints aren't stonewalled. And IKEA decides the web is the future. But ironically, Futura wasn't part of that Futura. Due to browser incompatibilities, complex licensing issues and performance concerns, web fonts still weren't a thing. So pre-installed web-safe fonts were the only option, and Futura didn't make the cut on Windows. So Ikea made the switch to Verdana for their website. Well, that's okay, but then they went all in, using Verdana everywhere, for everything. Big mistake. Because when people still could accept a different font online, when Ikea changed their catalogs, packaging, signage and even their beloved Schöttbüller to show up in Verdana, chaos! A betrayal of Ikea's design DNA. Words become homogenized. Stop the Verdana madness! And honestly, they weren't wrong. Verdana was designed in 1996 to be hyperlegible in small sizes on low-res screens. It excels there, but scaled up, gross! It eats space, loses character and flattens the brand. So one font doesn't always fit all. Yes, consistency is great, but only if your typeface actually works across all the places you're using it. So if you want a unified look, pick a type family that handles print, digital, small sizes and display text well. Or mix fonts that complement each other. Also, check technical restrictions, think about licensing, web font availability and rendering differences across platforms. Because typography is your infrastructure. If it crumbles, everything else does too. So how did Ikea respond to the backlash? With a shrug.
We're surprised,
said Camilla Maybu.
But I think it's mainly experts who have expressed their views, people who are interested in fonts. I don't think the broad public is that interested.
What? Not interested? Well, yeah, she wasn't that wrong. Most people got used to it, and according to Ikea's own research, there were no measurable sales dips. So, case closed? All good in Verdana land? Not quite, because the story doesn't end there. In 2019, Ikea had to make another major shift, and this time because of tofu. Not that soy kind, the typographic one. When a font doesn't support a character, your system substitutes it with the default font, which might cause some stylistic issues. But if the system font even doesn't support it, it drops in a meatball. No, actually this box, and that's the tofu. And Ikea's expansion into new markets like Thailand, South Korea and their existing Arabic-speaking regions exposed Verdana's limits. It only supported Latin, Greek and Cyrillic script. So their workaround? Fall back to whatever the system had. The result? Inconsistent branding and UX. So always check your characters. Test your fonts with the full character set you need, even if you are only using English today. Future translations or user-generated content could break your layout tomorrow. Your font needs to support all the scripts and symbols your brand will encounter, or you'll end up with a patchwork of styles and possibly angry users. Fast forward to 2019. Mobile browsing officially overtakes desktop. Android, iOS, Mac, Windows, all with different font defaults. Nothing is web safe anymore. Not even Ikea. And they also had to face it that system fonts wouldn't cut it. So they switched to Google's Noto, a type family built to support virtually every script on Earth. The name literally stands for no tofu. They altered a few things, like the uppercase I, which kind of is smart for Ikea, but it also shows that Noto is narrower, more refined, and scales beautifully from small to larger sizes. This now gives Ikea a unified typographic voice again, one that works globally, digitally and visually. So what about Futura? It's stylish. Ask Wes Anderson about it. But at small sizes, it loses its edge. Verdana again? Fantastic legibility in small low-res settings and by type design legend Matthew Carter. But go big and it turns clunky. That's not the right use case. Well, Noto, this one strikes a balance. It's distinct enough, works across sizes and scripts and looks great on screens. Quick side note, while editing this, I actually got access to the new Futura 100 from Type Together. This is not a radical redesign, it's more of a thoughtful update of how we use type today, with variable weights and optical sizing so that it actually works at large and small sizes. For more on that in a future Font Friday review, be sure to subscribe to the newsletter so you won't miss it. But what stands out most here is that Futura 100 supports 23 scripts, making it a truly global type system, including Thai, Arabic and soon Hangul for Korean. So in a way that also could have been another direction Ikea might have taken. And I actually used Futura 100 for the most examples here in this video. And working with it just reminded me how much I love this typeface and how much it breaks my heart that Ikea switched from it. Because it has real personality. It's timeless, it's distinctive, which honestly makes it stand out even more against the sea of neutral system default fonts we see everywhere today. System fonts may be convenient, but they are inconsistent, ever-changing and more unpredictable than your Ikea assembly manual. In the 2000s, it was all Arial and Verdana. Today, design systems like Material or popular Google fonts set the defaults. And now we are stuck with Inta and Roboto. Safe and legible, but with the personality of a plastic fork. So, a custom typeface that fits your brand and applications isn't just about looks, it's about future-proofing your design. Once your font is baked into everything, changing it later is a massive pain, like trying to swap the screw of every flat pack across the globe. It's a mess! Just look at this Ikea parking lot close to my home. A typographic identity crisis, where Futura, Verdana and Noto all awkwardly have to live side by side. So, what can you take away from this? Pick fonts that suit your use case. Digital, print, small, large. Test across platforms and devices. Web safe is no longer a thing, so you can rather go for a custom font. And then check character support for every language you might need. This will make sure that you think about growth, scalability, and also performance. Typography is core UX. Bad font choices confuse users, dilute your message, and quietly wreck your brand. If you want a second opinion on your font choice, consider booking a free type check with me. I'll give you my honest feedback to your user interface and type choice. And if you want to learn more about choosing fonts, I've recorded a video ages ago that's still full of great advice and me looking much younger. So check out this video here and make sure to choose the right fonts. Then the typography can do the heavy lifting for you and your design will thank you for it. No tofu. No tofu. No tofu. I'm tossing too much tofu around. Will I eat it after this? I'm not sure.